Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about a topic that scares everyone, but that no one wants to admit: sexually transmitted infections, or STI. When you picture an STI, what do you see? Ugly blisters, green ooze, pain? If that is what you are waiting for, you are making a dangerous mistake. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), the most common symptom of an STI is actually nothing. It is silence. You can look clean, smell clean, and feel perfectly healthy, but still be carrying a virus that causes infertility or cancer years later. Today, I'm going to teach you how to detect the invisible signs, and most importantly, want to get tested so you don't get a false result. Let's start with the two most common bacterial infections, Chlamydia and Gonorrhea. The NHS National Health Service in the UK reports that at least 50% of men and 70% of women with chlamydia have absolutely no symptom. Zero. This is when it spreads so fast. You sleep with someone who looks clean, and they sleep with you because you look clean. But if symptoms do appear, they are often subtle. For men, it might just be a mild burning sensation when you pee, or a slight itch at the tip of the urethra. You might think, "Oh, I just drank too much coffee," or "my underwear is too tight." Don't ignore this. For women, it might present as bleeding after sex or a slight change in discharge. Because these signs are so small, Mayo Clinic advises that anyone sexually active under age 25 should get tested every single year, regardless of how they feel. Now, this is the most important part of this podcast. Please listen closely. Let's say you had a risky encounter last night. You are panicked. You ran to the clinic today to get tested. The result comes back negative. You celebrate. You have just made a terrible mistake. Every virus and bacteria has an incubation period or a window period. This is the time it takes for the virus to multiply enough to show up on a test. If you test too early, you get a false negative. According to Planned Parenthood and the CDC, here is the timeline you must follow. Chlamydia and gonorrhea, wait at least 1 to 2 weeks. If you test the day after sex, the test cannot find it. HIV, this is tricky. A standard rapid antibody test can take 23 to 90 days to detect the virus. If you want to know sooner, you need a 4th generation blood test from a vein, which works after 18 to 45 days. Syphilis. The sore might not appear for 3 weeks, and the blood test can take up to 90 days to be conclusive. So, the golden rule? If you are worried about last night, go see a doctor immediately for PEP, preventive medicine. But for testing, you must wait at least 2 weeks to get a reliable result. Here is another secret that general checkups miss. Most standard STD screenings are just a urine test, peeing in a cup. But did you have oral sex? According to the CDC, gonorrhea and chlamydia love to live in the throat. A urine test checks your bladder and genitals. It doesn't check your throat. If you have pharyngeal gonorrhea, gonorrhea in the throat, you can pass it to a partner, yet your urine test will come back 100% clean. The same applies to rectal infections. If you engage in anal sex, a urine test is unless for that area. So, when you go to the clinic, you have to be brave and honest. You must ask the doctor, "Please give me a full panel, including a throat swab and a rectal swab. If they don't swab those areas, you are not fully tested. We have talked about the silent symptoms. Now let's talk about the visible ones. Sometimes your body does give you a warning sign, but many people misinterpret it. They think it's an ingrown hair or a pimple. According to the Mayo Clinic, knowing the difference between a painful bump and a painless bump can save your life. Let's break down the big three: herpes, syphilis, and HPV. 1. Herpes, HSV, the painful blister. Herpes lesions usually start as small, fluid-filled blisters. They cluster together. The key characteristic here is pain. They itch, they burn, and eventually they burst and crust over. 2. Syphilis, the silent killer. This is the one that tricks you. The primary stage of syphilis causes a sore called a chancre, but here is the trick. It doesn't hurt. It is usually a firm, round, painless sore. Because it doesn't hurt, many people ignore it. But if you ignore syphilis, it moves to the secondary stage, damaging your nerves and brain years later. 3. HPV, warts, the cauliflower. Genital warts usually look like small flesh-colored bumps or have a cauliflower-like appearance. They are usually not painful, but they can be itchy. If you test positive, what happens next? Is your life over? Absolutely not. We divide STIs into two categories: bacterial, curable, and viral, manageable. According to the CDC, the bacteria group, Chlamydia, Gonorrhea, Syphilis, Trichomoniasis, are caused by bacteria or parasites. The good news: they are completely curable. A simple course of antibiotics usually wipes them out. If you catch them early, there is zero long-term damage. The viral group, herpes, HIV, HPV, are viruses. Currently, we cannot cure them in the sense of removing them from your body forever. However, modern medicine makes them highly manageable. HIV. With daily ART medicine, people with HIV live normally lifespans and can become undetectable, meaning they cannot pass the virus to partners. Herpes. Antiviral meds can suppress outbreaks so you rarely get blisters. HPV. Most strains clear up on their own, and vaccines prevent the dangerous cancer-causing types. Finally, we need to talk about the biggest mistake couples make. It is called the ping-pong effect. Imagine this. You test positive for chlamydia. You take your antibiotics. You are cured. You feel great. Then you go home and have sex with your same partner without a condom. 2 weeks later, your symptoms come back. Why? Because you didn't treat your partner. The NHS states that treating yourself is only 50% of the job. If your partner is untreated, they are a reservoir for the bacteria. You pass it to them. They keep it. You get cure. They pass it back to you. It bounces back and forth like a ping-pong ball. The rule is strict. If you test positive, your partners must get treated at the exact same time. And you must not have sex for 7 days after starting treatment. This is the only way to stop the cycle. So let's wrap up this 10-minute guide. I want you to change your mindset. Getting tested for an STI doesn't mean you are dirty. It means you are responsible. It means you care about your body and your partner's health. Remember the rules. 1. Most symptoms are silent. 2. Urine tests miss throat infections. 3. Wait 2 weeks for accurate testing. 4. If it hurts, it might be herpes. If it doesn't hurt, it might be syphilis. Don't rely on luck. Rely on science. Get tested. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next episode.